There are 3 ways to speak about what you intend to do. I will exercise tomorrow. Or, I am an exerciser. Or, I stand on my exercise mat within 3 minutes of the alarm chiming. I will imagines a future. It commits nothing in the present. The brain registers the intention as a completed mental event and moves on. The behavior remains undone. I am claims an identity. It describes a state without initiating it. The body can contradict the claim in the same moment. I am calm, while the heart is racing, produces dissonance rather than alignment. I stand is a verb phrase. It issues a command the nervous system can follow immediately. It does not require belief. It does not require motivation. It requires only execution. 2 of these modes of intent suggest the feeling of movement without producing it. 1 produces actual movement. Let's look at what's happening. Hey there, it's me, Core, and you're listening to Exercising Consistency, from Fitness to Flourishing. Why futures and identities fall short. I will creates a gap between intention and execution. The brain treats the future promise as a completed mental event. The dopamine of planning replaces the dopamine of doing. The person who says, I will exercise tomorrow, has discharged the motivation without discharging the action. The future never arrives. Another I will replaces it. I am creates a different problem. The identity claim is conceptual. It can be maintained as a belief regardless of behavior. A person can say, I am someone who exercises, while having skipped the last 3 weeks. The identity claim becomes a story the person tells themselves, not a description of actual choices. It protects the preferred conception of self without changing the behavior. Both modes of intent allow the gap between what you say and what you do to remain open indefinitely. Neither provides a trigger for action. Neither tells the nervous system what to do right now. What the verb does. The nervous system responds to verbs the way the body responds to a command. I breathe triggers a breath. I stand initiates standing. I focus directs attention. There is no interpretation step. There is no negotiation. The verb itself is the trigger. This is why intention statements use the I verb structure. The when then or if then format provides the context. The trigger event signals the moment of choice. The verb provides the executable instruction. When the alarm chimes, then I stand on my exercise mat within 3 minutes of the alarm. The alarm is the trigger. I stand is the command. The gap between intention and execution is closed before it opens. The verb does not require readiness or motivation. It requires only that the nervous system follow the instruction it's been given. And the nervous system does. It's built for this. How the language rewires the system. Each time you repeat the verb structure, you strengthen the pathway between trigger and response. The first time, the language feels deliberate. The 100th time, it feels natural. The language creates the behavior, and the behavior reinforces the language. The brain does not distinguish between the instruction and the execution when the instruction is immediate and executable. It simply follows. Over time, and repetition, the gap between the word and the action disappears. The verb becomes the action. I move becomes movement. I breathe becomes breath. I focus becomes focus. This is how language trains the nervous system, not through repetition of abstractions, through the repeated execution of directions. The science. Your brain responds differently to action verbs than it does to future promises or identity statements. Neuroscience shows that action-related verbs activate parts of the motor system, the same circuits involved in planning and executing movement. Behavioral psychology shows that implementation intentions, clear, specific actions, dramatically increase follow-through. And studies on motor imagery show that imagining an action and hearing an action verb light up overlapping neural pathways. So, when you shift your language from either promises of change or identity to action, you're not doing a mindset trick. You're giving your nervous system a job to do. You're collapsing the gap between intention and execution. You're turning I want to be different into I do something different. That's how you build an identity, and you build it one action at a time, where the practice begins. The nervous system doesn't change because you hope or because you describe yourself in a way you wish were true. It changes because you give it something to do. A verb is the smallest unit of transformation your body understands. It's the instruction. It's the bridge between who you've been and who you're becoming. Every time you choose the verb, you close the distance between intention and action. You train your system to move when you speak. You turn language into leverage. You turn choice into circuitry, behavior into identity. Identity isn't simply declared, it is demonstrated. And the demonstration begins with a verb. I, verb, is the moment your future stops being imaginary and starts being enacted. It's the point where the story ends and the practice begins. Give your body the direction. Let the verb move you. Then, let the movement make you. To put this practice in place and turn it from an idea into a lived experience, start your day one inside the ACT Score Challenge. Go to exercisingconsistency.com. That's it for today. Catch you next time.